Good evening and welcome to Lagos Studios. In a bid to put to rest cases of building collapse in the state, the Lagos State government has set up a 5-man panel to investigate the immediate and remote causes of the 3-story building which collapsed at Itafaji area of Lagos Island. Inaugurating the panel, which comprises of professionals from the private sector, the state governor, represented by the Commissioner for Fiscal Planning and Urban Development, Rotimi Ogunleye, disclosed that the panel was to investigate and advise the government based on its findings to avert such incidents in the future. The panel, according to Ogunleye, also has the mandate to determine the level of negligence on the part of the developer or owner and the role of the state government officials in the build-up to the eventual collapse of the building.
Putting in place a committee of experts in the build profession and environment to take a technical and professional in-depth look at the events or incidents of building collapse as it affected 63 Mazi Street, Itafaji, and to guide us professionally against further occurrence.
The Commissioner said the recommendation of the panel will be acted upon as government was determined to stem the tide of collapsed buildings in the state. The panel has 2 weeks time frame to submit its reports to the Lagos State government for prompt action.
This panel that we are putting in place today comprises of people in engineering, in building, in architecture, town planners. They are not civil servants. They are not civil servants. And as I said, it's investigative, and the purpose is to advise us as ministry, which is saddled with the task of ensuring that buildings are properly put up to avoid any collapse.
In Lagos State, Wasiu Olukunwola, in his response, said the panel would ensure a thorough job as the members were capable and possessed worth of experience in the building industry. Other panel members include Phaeton Gretz Umar, Bayo Oluojori, Ayo Adediro, and Mr. Kunle Awobudu. The Lagos State Building Control Agency General Manager Lekon Shodendia said that there was no fresh building collapse in the state has been erroneously reported on social media. The statement comes on the backdrop of a rumored collapse at Agton Street, Okeari, Lagos Island. Shodendia said that a 3-floor structure was marked as distressed and was undergoing demolition as at press time. He said the building in question was within the build-up area flanked by other adjoining structures at the rear, adding that the demolition of the distressed building became necessary in order to avert another disaster. According to him, the present administration of Governor Akinwumi Ambode will leave no stone unturned to sanitize the buildings construction industry in the state by removing all the distressed, illegal structures and buildings prone to collapse, as well as those that were not in conformity with the state building laws. The general manager appealed to Lagosians to cooperate with the state government by moving out all of buildings marked as distressed and also stay away from demolition sites. In a bid to maintain a good state of health, some medical experts have advised Nigerians to desist from patronizing private nurses and practicing self-medications. IATV's Faith Agbetuya in this report takes a look at the preference of some Lagos residents between patronizing private nurses and standard health providers. Her report.
Nigerians often get medical attention from both standard public and private health providers, alongside private nurses who many believe are at their beck and calls. Some respondents who spoke with IATV News said patronizing personal nurses are not options for them because they cannot be certain of the competence of such practitioners, while others said they choose to go for private nurses to get a first-hand and more intensive health care.
I believe going to a nurse, you're still doing personal treatment. You're not even sure if your contact with that nurse, maybe the drugs that she's going to give you, or is going to give you, work for that thing or not. But when you go to an hospital direct, at least you have rest of mind.
Because a registered health center will conduct proper tests on me. I will have specialists to take care of whatever is wrong with me at that point in time. And that registered outfit, if they don't even have the facility to carry out the necessary thing, they probably will refer me to an higher organizations who will take care of me, maybe a general hospital or a specialist hospital, as against going to a nurse who has a limited knowledge.
You need both of them. You need a personal nurse and you still need to go to the health provider. So it depends on the circumstances. If it's on a minor ailment, then let your personal nurse come take care of you, and then if it's still on the minor side, then there is no problem. But if it's a major illness or a major problem, then you need to go to a health provider where you have all the machines and all the things that we probably do the various tests on your body, and then you get to know what actually is wrong with you.
Reacting to both sides, some medical experts said that Nigerians should not seek appropriate healthcare delivery and prescription from some individuals who are assumed to be trained to provide such services.
If you have a nurse who is a relative, for instance, and you are not feeling fine, you talk to the nurse about it, the nurse will most likely contact a friend who is a doctor, and then the doctor will prescribe, and then the nurse will give the prescription to the relative. So it is not right to go to a nurse as your first point of call when you are not feeling fine. No.
My advice to people is to always go to a hospital, because when you get to the hospital, some tests are going to be run on you so that they will know what is actually wrong with you and know the proper medications to give to the person.
They also advised that the popular practice of self-medication and buying drugs over the counter without proper prescription should be guarded.
3 journalists working with CBC and Chinese television stations in Osun State have now been hospitalized following a violent attack by some Irish youths who were protesting against electricity blackout in Elisha and the entire Ijesha land. The protesters also destroyed 2 cameras and 3 tripods belonging to the stations, while property belonging to Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company were not spared. The journalists were in Elisha to cover a protest by the youth against the disconnection of the entire Ijesha land from the national grid by the Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company, which they were attacked and seriously wounded. The IBDEC had disconnected the entire 6 local governments of Ijesha land from the national grid over allegation that some of their staff were beaten by some youths in Bolonduro and Olomi Lagbala a few days ago. The journalists are currently receiving treatment at the Ladoke Akintola University Teaching Hospital, Osogbo. Meanwhile, the Osun State Governor, Boyega Oyetola, and State Chairman of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, Kennedy Ayotunji, have condemned the attack and called on the police to arrest perpetrators of the act.
To make a U-turn so that we can escape. So we made that U-turn. As we were about to move back to Osogbo, one of them came to us and he asked us, "Who are you?" Said, "We are journalists." "But you are here to do your work." We said, "Yes, we are here to do our work." And I said, "Okay, let me call some of the protesters that are cool-headed." So he called one of them who took bike. He brought his motorcycle and he tried to pick 2 of our cameramen. We resisted that you should not go with them. But after a kind of persuasion from different quarters that it will ensure they are protected, so we left them. So and the motorcycle took them to the scene of the event. So I think when they got to that scene of the event, some angry protesters, they came to that place and they overpowered the people that took them to that place. So they wounded my cameraman Taiwo Adu, they wounded Channels TV cameraman Abdulkadir Shitu, and they destroyed the camera.
Government should intervene before it gets out of hand. People are very, very angry. A lot of businesses are closed down because there's no light. You understand? And you put a lot of people in the darkness just because some people were there's issue in some areas. Since people are paying their NEPA bills, they are not supposed to be put in darkness which will affect their business.
We are on top of the situation as I speak with you. The Commissioner of Police of the state is in Elisha. We are also trying to talk to IBDC to restore power. And we are doing everything within our reach as a state to douse tension, because the governor is the chief security of the officer of the state, and he must ensure that we continue to enjoy the peace we have been enjoying in the state. So we are doing all within our reach to ensure that we restore peace.
So Faith Adesua on Business News. Good evening, Faith.